What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. And today's podcast is sponsored by sloths, God's majestically slow creatures.
Damn it, I couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, you
Damn
tried, motherfucker.
sloths.
Yeah.
Oh
You,
my
you remember?
god.
You remember that sloth picture I have in the house with the flowers?
No,
Oh
I don't
man,
remember it.
I'll send it to you after the podcast. But it's a fucking beautiful picture I picked up at Ross for $10.
Damn.
Yeah.
Should have been
But
like
oh
over your
yeah,
mantle.
I know I should have. Well, it's like a canvas painting, so I can't really. I had to like buy those two-sided tapes and mount it on the wall. Well,
Ah,
I guess when I'm not lazy.
yep.
Yeah. So like I was saying, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I was greeting
Introduction?
your. Yes, the fucking greeting of the podcast. Thank you guys for whoever you guys are. Jimmy knows who you are. Our only two followers.
Oh yeah, our only
But
two Twitter
hey,
followers. Kurt, Reed, you know who you are. Thank you guys. You're gentlemen and scholars.
damn. Outing them out already. God damn, they're probably being like, ah, fuck it, unfollow.
Oh,
Beep.
hey, if they want to support us, we support them. That's fine.
Nah, that's cool.
How the world turns.
Damn right. It
Speaking of
also
how
turns
the
by
world
gravity.
turns, oh yeah, gravity is a good one.
Yeah.
But what's our topic for today?
Gas. Why do we have it? No.
How do we destroy it?
How do we destroy this nonsense called gas? No. Today we are going to talk about aliens and
Aliens.
random alien facts and stories or whatever you want to call it. I was just thinking about yeah, I saw the fuck. I was just browsing through YouTube and I saw Battle of LA, the trailer.
The
Remember
the
that?
like 2014, 2013 movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I saw that and I remember I was like, man, that movie was kind of cheesy, like I was like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't know when I first saw that movie back when it first came out, I didn't know that we had an incident that movie was based off of. I mean, nothing in that fucking movie happened obviously in real life, but there's an instance where out in I think it was in the like Santa Monica coast around that area, there was a fort built there, and this was like right after Pearl Harbor and shit, so everybody's on like fucking high alert.
Right.
And all of a sudden, dude, fucking sirens started going off, and they blacked out fucking L.A. completely. Like they shut off all the lights, pretty
Yeah, in,
much.
in case of a Japanese invasion and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, and so they just started fucking lighting up the skies, and they said they saw something or they picked up something on a fucking radar or I don't know what the fuck, but
Yeah.
they were shooting the fuck out of the sky, man. They were just like lighting that motherfucker up. I was just like, holy shit, man, we got attacked. And they were saying that it was just fucking what was it? It was like a commercial
It was
plane.
no, it was like a
Or,
weather balloon or something, I think is what they thought it
yeah,
was, and
it was something weird, man. But
or like a blimp
but
or something. It was like a blimp that had gotten cut loose. That was like almost the official story, if I remember correctly. Like, oh yeah,
oh
a
Lord.
blimp accidentally cut loose because they had the blimps, I think, over the city, so that planes would like crash into them, or at least they'd have to like dodge them or something weird.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, there's that really iconic photo of just shells hitting something, and you could tell it's like metal and shiny, and it's just
yeah,
banging off whatever it is. And I'm like, man, if that was a blimp, I'm pretty sure it would have just like have instantly ignited in the sky, you know?
yeah, it would have just blown the fuck up like the fucking whatchamacallit,
The
the
Hindenburg.
Hit- yeah.
You're gonna call it the Hitlerberg?
No, no, I wasn't gonna say that. I just couldn't come up with a name. Started with an H, I know that. But yeah, like yeah, it's full of fucking what was it? Is it helium? I
Helium or
know
hydrogen? I don't remember which.
hydrogen. One of those two. That's what fucking made it blow up. But you'd think if they would have hit a fucking blimp, that shit would have just blown up in the sky from all the chemicals in the blimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A-
So, but they're
And
saying that it was hitting it, but it wasn't doing any damage or something, right?
right, and
It was
then it
bouncing
like
off.
kind of like hovered over the city for a good while, and there's just all of these AA guns and just people on the ground, and just whoever could point up into the sky was just shooting the shit out of this thing.
Yeah, dude. They were dumping on this thing, man. But yeah, no, they didn't cause any severe damage to whatever it was that was up there, and it just fucking dipped. It said, "See ya,"
Yeah,
and
it
they're
just
like,
kind of,
"Oh,
I think it just like drifted up and then just boop, wasn't on radar anymore. But I remember a little bit about that, that they tracked it, I think, if I remember correctly, because it popped up on radar multiple times, and then finally it kind of was in the vicinity of the guns, and they were just like, "Oh, it's there, just start firing," and just bam,
yeah,
bam, bam, bam.
hmm,
And then, like I said, like that photo trips me out because you see something getting hit.
yeah, dude." Even though it's poor quality, this is, what year was it?
I think it's 19. Oh, I want to say 43 or 44.
43, 44, probably, dude. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly when it was. I was just reading up on it real quick before we started, but yeah, man, it was 19 is on February 25th, 1942.
Okay.
And then it says the infamous false alarm saw American military units unleash a torrent of anti-aircraft fire in the skies over Los Angeles. Wow. Yeah, there's a picture right there, man. I mean, the people can't see it, but if you look it up, it's like one of the iconic photos
Oh yeah.
in history. Yeah, it's just a bunch of spotlights hitting the sky, and you see the shells flying towards whatever they're shining at. It's there,
Oh
and
yeah. I
then they
mean,
wanted to
there's
say, "Oh yeah, it's a blimp." Oh, like,
yeah,
dude,
it's some kind of spherical disc in the sky. I mean,
yeah,
trying to see
that's
if
a
I can find. Someone was saying, I heard recently that because the original photo kind of disappeared, so the photo that we have is like the newspaper release, and what it is
yeah.
they turn the brightness and the contrast up really high, so it kind of washes out what they're shooting at. But the
Uh,
original photo, the black and white one, actually kind of shows more shape, like a more shapely stuff. Like it's not as bright, like it's dark, but you see where the shell hits it, and like like kind of like the metal scatters everywhere and everything. So it's kind of interesting.
yeah. Why would they try to hide that up though? Why would they try to, like,
Well, if you think about it, this is the height of, we just got
oh, Pearl
bombed by
Harbor
in
and
Pearl Harbor, and everybody's on red alert, and everybody's thinking they're, we're about to get invaded. So I mean, it's kind of a smart move to just be like, "Oh no, it was nothing. It's just a mistake." But then you think about it, and you're like, well, could the hundred something deployed military force that's out there that's shining lights on this thing and are targeting it and hitting it, like, I'm pretty sure for them they're like, well, that fucking sucks. Like I was there, and I'm being told that it was all just bullshit, and it was a lie, and it was a blimp, and you know, but I
I
don't know,
guess
it
not
just
to not to make people panic and shit. Was it
right,
just to keep
exactly.
everybody?
Like, yeah, like you don't want to
Uh,
like panic people, especially like in like we haven't even officially joined the war by then, I don't think, but we were on like super red alert because
well,
I think the
well, they
Pearl
did
Harbor
attack
bombing,
us.
yeah, it happened in December of that year,
Yeah.
and then we still didn't join into the main force until like 1944.
Uh,
It was still almost like 2 years until we, like the Normandy and all that actually
D-Day.
happened. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, because this was with the Japanese.
Yeah, so they thought the
Uh,
Japanese were attacking them, and then can you imagine if you're that poor guy sitting in that AA gun chair and you're wailing away on this thing and it's not blowing up, it's not crashing.
it's like,
Like
damn.
you're like, holy crap, the Japanese are gonna fucking kill us. Like,
Yeah, like, I can just imagine they're just sitting shooting the fuck out of this thing. And you're like, well, I guess we're gonna fucking die. This
yeah,
thing isn't fucking budging, dude.
and
Oh
and
man, yeah, I'll be fucking scared too, man.
Yeah, and I think it was people are like, oh, they just wasted hundreds of rounds on this thing, and you're like, no, I think after the second or third round hit this thing and it still didn't come out of the sky, they knew they needed to just start gunning this thing.
Yeah, because those were fucking
This is over Santa Monica. This is over a populated
yeah,
city.
yeah, but the fucking the rounds, the shells were they're 50 caliber? No, right? Those are the
Uh,
AA guns. Those are the fucking what are they called? The ones that are on top of Jeeps, the turret guns, right?
they're either like
The howitzers.
flat cannons or I want to say they're like 20 millimeters, but I might be wrong. Either 40
See, I could have sworn it
millimeters,
was.
maybe 40 millimeters.
Oh man, that's crazy. They're big fucking guns. Like I'm looking at pictures of their fucking turret guns, and those things were shooting 50 caliber ammunition at the thing. So it was like the fucking I forgot what those. I see it. Yeah, like it says, Santa Monica unleashed a barrage of anti-aircraft and 50 caliber machine gun fire before long. Many of the city's other coastal defense weapons had joined in. Fuck, so there was more than just that little fort that was watching it.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like I think if I remember correctly, like these are like mounted on the top of buildings. So they had AA guns, they had like little 50 caliber spots and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they're all pointing out to the ocean because any second now they thought the Japanese were just gonna roll up on them.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's yeah, just being those guys in that era, like fuck. Like what did they have that we can't destroy?
Yeah, exactly. I mean
I'll be
it's
shitting myself too.
oh yeah. It's just a crazy incident, and yeah, and they're just like, oh yeah, yeah, it was a weather balloon, or oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
it was
fucking
a it was a
blimp.
it was a blimp, yeah.
It was
It's
a
like
transsexual blimp. You know,
call it ma'am,
call it MIMP.
imp.
Yeah, something, man. That's crazy. But you were telling me also, man, that what should we call it about the different species of aliens?
Yeah, so I remember when I was a kid, my parents got these weird. I don't think they were Encyclopedia Britannica, but they were just these weird books and talked about like robotics and aliens and all kinds of weird stuff. And in the book, it mentions like the five different alien races that have supposedly visited Earth.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, let me look it up. Let me look up into it, and let's see. This is actually six, but supposedly originally there was five, and so it's
Okay.
supposedly like the reptoids or draconians, which are like lizard people,
Like Land of the Lost.
kinda like the she slacks. Is that what they're called? Sleeslacks.
Oh yeah, the Sleesacks. Yeah.
And he wears the tunic of shame or something.
Uh huh.
Um, then there's hybrids, which are supposedly a mix of humans and aliens. Then there's ones
Uh.
called the Nordic, and the Nordic
Okay.
actually look exactly like humans, except they're like 6 feet tall, or they're just really tall, blonde, blue-eyed, but their facial features and their eyes are a little different.
And they're
Uh,
apparently just by the look of this, it looks like they also work for fucking Marvel Studio, the Human Torch. This guy looks like the Human Torch.
oh, the picture,
Uh,
yeah, I'm looking at it too.
yeah, like the Nordic. It's like, dude, he's fucking the flame on. Like,
Yeah,
we got to put this picture up on Twitter so people can see what the fuck we're talking about.
yeah, I will. And then there's the insectoids, which are just kind of like a bug type alien.
Yeah.
Then there's the grays or the zetas, which are more common. I guess they visit us more often. And then
Yeah.
there's like the tall grays, but I've heard the tall grays are called something else too. I heard they're called like the Sumerians because they
I
were
thought it
those.
was Orion Tall Gray.
Yeah, that's
Or
the one I'm looking at. But but they're both called zetas in this stupid picture, but I don't think that's correct. Like I think the
yeah.
grays are something completely different, and then what they categorize as the zetas is actually the Sumerians, and the Sumerians were supposedly the ones that have been visiting us since like ancient times, since
Uh,
since Samaritan times. because even they, I think, even their history has something about aliens coming and visiting and teaching them their ways and all that stuff.
Fucking A.
But then I did even more research and I found one where they have like 36 different categories for aliens, but they all kind of look the same, except for maybe like their eyes or their face or their mouth or something, but they all really look the same. And so I kind of wonder
Yeah.
if it's more like, we're all humans here on Earth, but we all look kind of different. So I wonder if it's just like, these are all gray aliens or these are all Nordic aliens, but they just have so much different, there's so much diversity in their alien races that even they uh, look different in comparison to each other. And
Oh
then
shit.
I kept even digging more, and then they're saying, "Oh no, now there's like 58 different races that come and visit Earth." And then I was like, "Wait a second, 58?
58.
Where have I
Wait a
heard
minute,
that
isn't that
number
fucking, is
before?"
that the whole gender shit?
Yeah,
There's
there's,
58
I
genders?
think officially right now under the LGBTQQFYCK123 hashtag
Oh
pound
Jesus
sign,
fucking Christ.
they have categorized 58 different genders. So I don't know. Coincidence? I don't know. 58 different
Fuck.
alien species, 58 different kinds of genders on Earth. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're all just weird ass aliens.
I wonder what number I am. I'd like to be 69. Oh no, wait a minute, that's beyond
It's too
58.
high.
Never mind. Fuck. Uh, what is the one from that movie? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I don't remember.
52.
Oh,
Remember, they asked it the question
that's
in the
42.
42.
What's the answer to life
Yeah,
or something?
42, and they're like, "Is that it?"
They're like, yeah, like, oh, okay.
Man, and you look at that shit, like, dude, where did these people get the inspiration to come up with like alien creatures in their movies? Like, what
Well,
if they know something we don't know?
yeah. I mean, there's that movie, was it Paul? Where he's the little gray
Oh,
alien.
the stoner alien.
Yeah, and supposedly, like, since he's been trapped on Earth since the 70s, and he's given all these, like, directors and producers, like, pop culture
Dude,
stuff and everything. I thought that was kind of funny, but I still think it's kind of, like, dumb. But,
yeah. No, but what if that's what the Illuminati does? They get all their information from the aliens and shit. Hollywood's run by that shit, man.
oh, yeah. I mean, they're either devil worshippers or they're the
Fucking
Illuminati.
kitty touchers or
Oh,
the
yeah.
Illuminati. What was that shit with what was it, Corey Feldman?
Yeah, yeah.
How he exposed that shit? Like there's like a big fucking child sex ring in Hollywood,
They
and
shut
he
him
was a part
down.
of it. Yeah, they shut him down big time, dude.
What show was he on? I can't remember. Was he on Oprah or
Uh,
something?
no, he was.
Or
He did.
Barbara Walters. He was on Barbara Walters, I think. 60 Minutes.
It was one of those interviews, man.
Yeah, and he
It
was
was
like,
one of
yeah,
those
he's
interviews.
like the whole industry is full of child predators and child molesters, and he's like, I was raised my whole life next to one, and then Barbara Walters or whoever was just like, oh, you're really hurting everybody, Corey. You shouldn't be saying these things. He's like, no, listen to me, like I'm telling you. And then what? Like maybe the last 3 or 4 years, like a lot of stuff, like a lot of weird, creepy stuff has come to light, but still nobody's really getting busted except for that Nexium, that sex cult,
Oh yeah,
where they got busted with you know child endangerment, child pornography, child
yeah,
rape,
dude. That's
statutory rape, and then they have like legit like sex slaves, and then they kept pulling like celebrity names out of hats that were like involved in it, like that chick from Smallville. I can't remember her name right now.
oh yeah, the fucking blonde chick, right? This is a
Yeah,
while
yeah.
back. I remember this story.
It's not even that long ago, man. It's only like two
It was a
years or
couple
something
years,
ago.
a couple years, right?
If
Oh,
that.
okay.
And think about it, they've tried to bury that story so hard, but it's like, she was like she was found guilty of
Yeah, she was
having this
fucking like
weird sex ring thing.
basically she was bringing in new members
Yeah.
to her little sex cult thing, but Really, she was just fucking,
She
stacking
was
those
like
fucking
a she was like
numbers
a
up, dude.
yeah, she was
Like a
like a
like an
grand
enf-
mistress or something
like an
of the whole
enforcer or
cult.
some shit, like, right? Yeah.
Yeah. She was
She
like a
tried to convince people to fucking
capitan or
join that
something.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fuck that, man.
And they weren't playing around either. They branded people.
Yeah,
They
dude.
went to like sex slave training and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, that's I mean, it's intense that something like that would be going on
Yeah,
now in
man.
the world, you know? It's like, wow, jeez.
Yeah, dude. It's insane, dude. But there, I mean, it's like you shut one cult down. There's another motherfucker out there starting another, man.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's just so big they can't, you can't really get them. And it's not just how big they are too; it's how much influence they have.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I think fucking Corey Feldman's a fucking alien, dude. Have you heard his latest fucking album, dude? That he came out with like last year?
No.
Oh man, he previewed that shit and he did some weird little dance with it. Dude, this guy has to be from like another planet. This guy's not fucking normal. But yeah, I mean that's fucking crazy, dude. But back to aliens. I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't mean to go into that. I just I don't know why that fucking came in, but yeah, dude. So like Hollywood knowing or not knowing, but like kind of like coming up with their own kind of like interpretation of an alien, but like where the fuck did they get the information from? There has to be
Um,
something like aliens are coming over here, giving
well, I
us
mean,
information on certain things, and
you
then
know,
we implement it without. We're trying not to let people know that they know what the fuck's out there.
but kind of
You know,
trying R2 or something. Like,
yeah, kind of like
you
giving
could
us like
see
a little hint.
Hollywood. Yeah, you can see Hollywood as a huge disinformation campaign program. Like oh, so like all stories are kind of based on real life events. So you
Yeah,
kind of get these like, oh, aliens are attacking us kind of deal. And that goes back even for World War II, like end of the what was it? The day the Earth stood still. That was right after World War II, maybe.
yeah,
And then that was kind of like crazy in its own. But then it's like if you have like Hollywood come out with these movies, it kind of desensitizes people from aliens, and then it's not just it's not like a hoax type of deal. It becomes more like, oh well, they watched this movie and they had a bad dream and they thought they were kidnapped by aliens and stuff like that. Because you get always like when the story comes out, then a couple years later, then the movie comes out, and then you're like, okay, well I can see how this is bullshit because they made a movie about it.
yeah. Okay,
You know, so they're
fuck.
like, okay,
I never
yeah,
thought of it like
aliens
that.
aren't
Yeah,
really gonna get us. Aliens aren't really probing us and stuff. But and then
but they're
yeah, you
doing
make it like
something though, man.
you make it like a laughable thing. You
Yeah.
know, but
No, but there's people, man. It's crazy. I've never met anybody who's encountered shit like that. Like I remember one person telling me that when they were out in Rosemead, that they saw something fucking. What's the name of the park right there in Rosemead? When you're going up the hill to Montebello.
um, shoot, I don't remember the
Remember
name
the
of it.
part? Remember the parsonage?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Like heading towards there, that big hill, and then there's a park on the side
kind of.
where
Yeah,
where the observatory used to be at. Yes,
yeah.
there's a little mini observatory. Well, somebody that I used to hang out with out there told me that back in his days, they were chilling around the side of the hill over that park, and they saw fucking little orbs kind of like floating around, and they thought it was like, oh, okay, somebody has like a toy airplane or a helicopter, but the way this shit was moving, he said, was just side to side. It wasn't going, it wasn't elevating or declining. It was side to side. And then
And
they
it,
said that the minute they tried to kind of like look at it closely to see what the fuck it was, it just dipped. It went boom. It was like a straight shot.
huh?
He kind of tripped out on that a little bit. He was just like, "Yeah, that's the first time I've ever witnessed," and it didn't look like anything man-made. It was
Well,
like
like
perfectly round.
this is like before drones got big, right?
Yeah, this was like in the '80s.
Oh wow, okay.
This is in the '80s, so they were just chilling there, and sure enough, he said it was perfectly round almost like a bowling ball. Like there was no blemishes on the surface or anything. But he didn't know what it was because when he was just laying there, he was looking up and he was like, "Oh, okay, there's these toy airplanes in the sky." But when he got up to look closer, he said that the fucking orbs look really smooth, and that's when boom, it just took off and left.
Huh. Well, I
So,
mean, where do you think the aliens come from?
uh, uh, who knows, dude? The fucking universe is vast. Like, there's no. I don't think he like everywhere.
Well,
What
there's
answer can you
always
give him? Like, you can't be like, oh, they're like literally like behind the sun. Like, hey, no, they're beyond that, dude. They have the technology to fucking fly through what you call. They can create wormholes.
yeah. Oh, I mean, well, I mean, like I was saying,
No.
there's two schools of thought. One is that yeah, they have the ability to travel faster than the speed of light, or travel through wormholes, or what have you. Or they take the long road, and it does take them light years to get here. So they travel for 4 or 5, 6 years from whatever planet they're from, which means that they're actually closer to us than we think.
Hmm.
Or that they actually are interdimensional. So instead of traveling anywhere, they just kind of, I guess, sit in a ship, and then the ship just goes to a different dimension.
Oh,
So
or
like,
they can be fucking going through a cryogenic slumber. You know what I mean? Like they have like that technology and what movie was it? It was Prometheus. Remember when they were frozen? They were in cryogenic hibernation, and
yeah,
they were like in it for like 10 years or 15 years or some shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what they do too, man. Who knows?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I like the idea of the interdimensional thing because it's like they're not ever really leaving Earth. Like they're still in a dimension where their Earth is there, and they just change dimensions. And then, oh, and in this dimension, there's humans, and in another dimension, there's aliens, and then or aliens to us, I guess. And then they
Yeah.
go to another dimension, and it's like, oh, it's unicorns and dinosaurs and stuff. So I kind of like that because. I mean, the sheer amount of power, like in today's society and the way we think today, it's like, oh yeah, we can go faster than the speed of light, but the amount of power we'd have to generate to do it, we would never be able to achieve.
Nah.
So,
That's like building like millions of nuclear reactors into a fucking jetpack, you know?
right,
Impossible. You
yeah,
can't. Like it's and you know what too? It's maybe the resource that these aliens have is what gives them the edge, what gives them that upper hand into, advancing in technology and space flight or whatever the fuck.
yeah,
They got the stuff. They got the stuff to make, like what if they like had the ability to like create a black hole?
right.
Like,
Like you said, wormholes and
for
stuff like that as
yeah,
well.
for them it's a snap because they got the resources, they got the technology to do it, but like we don't have shit like that. We have iPhones and fucking Galaxy phones,
Yeah,
and fucking gaming PCs, but what was it? Wasn't there a story that these scientists somewhere I don't know if they're in Russia or in the United States, but they made a black hole or what is it, the black particle or some shit like that.
talking about like
They
the
made like
God particle, or are you talking about
yes,
black
that
holes?
the particle.
Okay,
Yeah, they succeeded in making it, and that facility was open basically 24 hours because they didn't want that shit to disappear or to blow up or or whatnot because they didn't know what the fuck it did. They just made it. It was there, and they kept it maintained for God knows how many years. And then finally, people at the facility was like, "Hey, it's fucking Christmas. Let's take one day off." So they decided, let's take the fucking day off. And sure enough, dude, that thing fucking disappears on them.
hmm. Oh,
It's
that
a trip. It's
probably
a trippy ass story.
it
Like
probably is from Kern. You ever heard of Kern?
what's that?
It's an acronym. I can't fucking remember it right now, but basically they do this kind of stuff. They try to find out ways how to make black holes. They try to find out ways how to make
Uh,
antimatter or whatever. And I think they're in Sweden. if I remember correctly. Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, story of God.
Uh, but I mean, there's also the idea that, um,
Yeah, you're right. CERN, CERN, the
yeah,
European Organization of Nuclear Research, near Geneva.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, and they
that's
have like a hadron collider. They
yeah,
doing God particle stuff, dark photons, all this crazy stuff. Higgs boson particles, which I think are God particles. Um,
yeah. I see that too. That's crazy, dude. And they just let it slip out of their hand, dude, because they wanted to take a day off. And it said it took them years. It took them years just to make that little particle, and it just disappeared in one day. That's crazy, dude. Like, yeah, like imagine, like it takes us that long to make one of those. To those aliens, they probably pop a quarter in a machine and they get it like nothing, dude. Know what
well,
I
like
mean?
Well, like I said, there's that idea that, and they even talk about it in the Marvel universe, where an alien race is so advanced that their technology almost looks like magic to us.
Fuck, you're right.
We can't wrap our brains around it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I've always had the theory that, like within our own galaxy, right? So you have the Big Bang, all the systems go out. We know supposedly for sure that I think our sun's like the universe or the galaxy is like 14 billion years old, and I think our planet's like 4 billion years old, or the sun is 4 billion years old. And then we're in like the super golden zone, right? Like super sustainable for life. So if you go, and I think we're like on the outer arm
Hmm.
of the galaxy. So if you imagine everybody who's on the outer arm of the galaxy might be at the same point in time that we're at. So similar technology, similar rate of growth or whatever, despite, social, economic, and political and geographical things. Um, so out in the universe or out in the galaxy, we're looking over and looking around looking for people, and they might be out looking around looking for us. Now, what's funny is, some people say that our biggest crutch was the Dark Ages, because during the Dark Ages, like nothing new was being developed,
Yeah.
right? No new technologies,
Or there wasn't anybody out there innovating.
right? And a lot of it was just
Yeah.
like, Europe was just like suffering from all these like plagues and tragedies and wars, and all these
Fucking
foreign countries were battling each other as well. I
the
think,
rat plague.
yeah, the rat plague,
Fuck, man.
the rats.
Oh
Um,
man, that's a little inside story there, guys. But we'll embellish it later on.
um, but we lost like 200 to 300 years worth of development, basically. Like I think the Egyptians, they lost the Library of Alexandria, which if we had
Oh
had
man,
that,
yeah.
if we had that, like our mathematical skills would have jumped ahead. So if you figure that out, we're, if anything, we might be only 200 to 300 years behind the other alien races that might be in our same galaxy. Now, that being
Holy shit.
said, are we being visited by them, or are we being visited by somebody else farther out? Like maybe a whole different universe, maybe in the same galaxy. Like the galaxy's huge, the universe is
Yeah.
bigger, you know. We're floating around, then there's different galaxies floating around us as well. A lot of people forget that. So you don't know if they're able to travel
Yeah.
from galaxy to galaxy. But, what makes us so interesting though? You
That's what I
know,
was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna fucking say right now. I was like, why are they coming over here? What is it that's drawing them to us? Because they can go to any other shit and be impressed. We're kind of just over here fucking, flinging feces at each other, and they're like, fuck, we gotta go there and see what the fuck's going on. But like,
yeah.
why? Like, yeah, why are they fucking so fascinated with us?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people think it's just because we are fascinating that we've come up with different things like music and art and all this stuff, while all these other alien races were pushing towards technology. We went kind of like
Advancing, yeah.
a we kind of went like a different route, like we went to books and plays and movies and other things that distract us, whereas these other aliens may have had just like laser sharp like focus on the future,
Huh.
and maybe they're learning from us. I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's the race of hybrids, which are supposedly half human, half greys. So I don't know if
That's weird.
maybe
They
they're
just
supposed. Maybe
fucking
someday they'll be the bridge between the galaxy and the human race. I mean, who
damn.
knows?
Imagine some lonely motherfucker in Alabama fucked an alien, and they got one of those Alabama aliens out there, dude. Fuck.
He's got that one
I got.
good snaggletooth.
Oh my god. Imagine a fucking Trump alien out there, like alien equivalent to Trump.
Yeah, so he'd be the
Oh,
richest, smartest man in the galaxy.
just raping cows and pigs and trying to figure out why he needs to build a wall around them and shit.
Yeah, and that's the other thing
But
too. I forgot about that, like the cattle mutilations and stuff like that. Like, what's kind of the point of that? Like, and
yeah,
it's
why why cows?
I don't know. I mean, like if you go to
Like
South Park, South Park says cows are the most smartest creatures in the universe, and
moo
that's
moo moo moo
yeah,
moo. That's
exactly.
why they talk like that.
I've heard something about like also like nutrition because they, when they dissect the cow, they only take certain pieces and parts, and maybe that's what they need to sustain themselves. And we just happen to be like a good like waypoint from here to like where else they're probably trying to get to. So basically, we're like a
uh,
gas station. So they come here, fill up on food and gas, and then book it.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like maybe we're just fucking the pit stop for aliens. Like
yeah, I mean, that's what they
y-
think the pyramids might have been at one point. Like, I mean, there's a lot of talk about it, but pyramids might have been a spot where the ships were able to land on top of. But then also there's evidence that the pyramids were built for possibly generating power as well.
that's what. Yes, I saw that a while ago, dude.
Yeah,
Like the pyramids harnessed some kind of energy to basically recharge these UFOs or whatnot, or it did something to help them out.
yeah.
And that's why they were
So
built like that.
yes, I mean, it might not be that far fetched that we are literally just a galactic gas station in the universe or something.
Fuck, man. Imagine if they would have just gave us like full knowledge of how to make certain shit, like shit that they have. How
Yeah.
fucking advanced would we be, dude? I wonder why they haven't done that. Why they
Well,
haven't been like, you know what? Let's help these motherfuckers out because these guys are just acting fast. Let's just fucking cleanse all their minds. Let's restart over again, and we'll give them the knowledge to fucking be happy or to be fucking normal, civilized people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if? What if that kind of knowledge just fixes the Earth?
what's creeping me out though? Every time you start getting more into aliens, you go into robot mode.
Oh, through the Discord.
Yeah. You're like aliens are raw aliens.
Oh, is that gonna come out in the podcast?
Yeah, it's gonna come out like that, but it's all right.
Oh well, sorry for the technical difficulties, but we will, as we go along, we'll find better equipment to work with.
Are you
But
downloading porn or something right now? Like what's going on?
no, man, squat, man.
Because I
I'm
mean,
just over here.
I'm all green over here,
Yeah,
my
I'm
side.
I'm green over here too, man. It's Discord. Sometimes it acts up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm full green. I'm full, the little bars on the side. No,
Full of
I'm
little
all good.
green men.
Yeah,
Eee.
I still can't get over the fact that this motherfucker looks like fucking, the Human Torch.
Human torch.
Why do they fucking make him dress like that? Like
Well, that's supposedly that's
they
how they are perceived. Like they show up and they just have these like skin tight, like
they show up
blue
looking like a
blue
fucking a
jumpsuits
not.
on.
They look like a Nazi Robin Williams.
Basically, I mean
Nano,
that's why they're
nano,
called
nano.
the Nordics. When people ran into them, they just look like Norwegian people or Swedish people. Like they're just
Fuck, you're
tall,
right.
blonde. like supposedly extremely beautiful people, but um, who knows what their origins are? I mean, who knows? Maybe these are humans that
they're
got
they're not all
saved
that.
or something, you
They're
know?
not all that beautiful. They're not all that beautiful.
I don't know. But it's weird though, because now, when you watch a lot of these alien movies, it's more geared towards like horror films.
Hmm.
So I mean, of course, you have Alien with like Ripley and Hicks and everybody, where the aliens are just tearing people apart.
Yeah,
Um, which I mean, that's seeable. Like you just have this weird alien race. They're not really advanced or anything. They're more like bugs. And then as a human being, you're just invading their territory, and they're just going to defend themselves and kill you off as fast as they can. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
yes,
That makes
yeah.
sense. Um,
What should we call it? District 9. Remember that movie?
yeah. See, that was kind of a weird movie too.
Yeah,
Because it was
like
like
they
some of
came
those
here.
aliens were smart and some of those aliens were kind of like dumb. So they
Yeah.
had, I think they mentioned there's some kind of like, they have a class system. Like there's workers, and then there was like the general, like the military, and then there was like the higher ups, the masters or whatever. Um, Shoot, I forgot what I was talking about.
That was a pretty
So
good movie, but it was crazy though. Like the concept of it, like they just came and they just chilled, and
yeah,
everybody's like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Put them in a concentration camp.
yeah, yeah,
We treated them like we treat like they treated them like how we treated the Japs.
kind of.
E-
I mean, it was
even the ones that were born here was like, hey, we're not taking any fucking chances, man. Go behind that fence
well,
ASAP.
Well, it's funny because the movie kind of portrayed it as, they thought that the aliens coming was going to be like the second coming of Jesus, like they were going to unleash all this technology that was going to help the world. And then when they went to
Oh
go crack
yeah,
this, they had to go and open the ship up themselves and find out that all these aliens were like starving to death, even though they're on this super advanced spaceship, and
like they
they
didn't have anything
found,
to offer.
right, they found all this weaponry and all this other stuff, but then it was nothing else, like nothing that could help anybody at all. And that was kind of like, even in the movie, like how it's kind of shot like a documentary. It's like the
Yeah,
extreme disappointment of these aliens to these to people of the future.
yeah, like,
They're
it's
like,
kind of fucked
oh,
up. It's like probably they just came because they were attacked by something else,
I
and
don't know,
they seeking asylum or something. But like, it's crazy, man. Wasn't it kind of based on a true story?
not that I know of.
I thought somebody said that to me once, man. Or I think somebody like was like reviewing it. It's like, oh, this is right off the incident of like I don't know. I don't remember anything like that happening.
I don't
Where a
know, but
bunch of people just showed up to a fucking a strange land and they're like, hey man, we don't know who the fuck you are. Go sleep in those tents over there.
yeah. Well, but like I was saying though, I think, and I remember now what I was saying was that now alien movies are more like horror movies, where
Yeah.
the aliens come to Earth, and then they're like very specifically like hunting people, like for food or for sport. You don't really know. They don't really reveal it, but it's just like scary as shit. And then because I went on like a really weird like movie marathon. I was watching every alien movie I could find on like Amazon Prime, and a lot of them
Yeah.
had the same kind of theme. It was a mix of like paranormal ghost type stuff plus aliens. So it was like there was like
Oh.
psychic stuff, and then there was like really weird, just like dumb, like, oh, a cup fell off, and you're like, wait, the aliens do that supposedly, like what the hell was that about?
Telepathically.
Something weird like that. Not even like expressing that, like, oh, it happened telepathically, but just like, oh, it was like scary, it was like paranormal, and then all of a sudden they get attacked by aliens that you can't, like, you can sort of see, but you can't really see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, but like that has been the theme for like alien movies in the last couple of years. It's just these horror films, like this
Or
poor
they
this
can be
poor
like
family's like,
Predator.
yeah, I mean, it, Predator's kind of interesting, but it's like one of those deals where like like the Predator society is like too
All they
stupid to
do is
really,
hunt.
yeah, like they're too
Yeah,
dumb
that's all
to
they do
really
is hunt.
survive in the universe. You know what I mean? I think there's even like a YouTube channel based on that stuff, like future worlds that are too stupid to exist and aliens that are too stupid to exist. I'm pretty sure predators fall into that category.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, how is it that they can travel faster than light, but yet all they want to do is just run around murdering stuff for trophies? Like that's not
Mm.
very. like enlightened. And I'm pretty sure, and eventually I think we'll probably hit it up because it's definitely a good thing. There's like a spectrum of like aliens and life forms and things like that. And I think aliens fall under like the fourth category or the fifth category, where like they would be so unburdened and enlightened about life and death and all that stuff that they really wouldn't, like, there's no reason for them to like attack us because they wouldn't need to. Like we would just succumb to them because they're either just so advanced or
Or we're
just
just that
them,
stupid.
right, or this is just them existing. And then, they talk about how, an advanced race wouldn't just come and attack another race for no reason whatsoever, because that advanced race would be so advanced that they wouldn't need anything,
There
like,
was yeah, they wouldn't we wouldn't put up a fight because what the fuck do we have that's a threat to them, you know?
well, like, if you're an alien race and you have the ability to travel across the galaxy with no issues, how is it that you're like running out of food and you have to stop it on Earth and kill everybody and eat
Yeah,
them and shit? Like it doesn't pan out. You know what I mean? That's why
yeah.
Independence Day doesn't really work, because it's like their society specifically goes planet to planet and then strip mines them. But like, why didn't they just go to Mars, strip mine Mars, and then just leave Earth alone because people live on it?
That's a good one. Well,
Another,
what if they wanted something that, that was in the Earth's core that's not available in Mars maybe. I don't know.
possibly, but still, like, would you go out of your way to decimate a society that's below you just to get like some gold? I mean, it's happened before, but I mean, supposedly with the spectrum of aliens that they're so advanced, they shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, because they got better materials or better resources from where they're at. And this shit's like, okay, this is child's play. We don't need this shit. We got fucking little cubes that can power fucking nuclear reactors. And these motherfuckers are having problems keeping their shit active, or keeping it together over there.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's another one of those, like, okay, this alien race is too stupid to exist. Like, how
Yeah.
how can they exist at all at this point?
Fuck, how did we exist this long?
Well, I mean, human intuition and fear, I guess.
Pizza.
Pizza. Well, let me ask you this.
uh,
Okay, do you personally believe in aliens?
uh, man, for the shit that I've seen, like I didn't have any, you know, personal experience with aliens, or anything like that. Like I've never witnessed a sighting, or I've always seen it on TVs and stuff. But man, there's just a lot of shit out there that's kind of hard to fucking call it fake, man. Like you just look at the video footages and you're like, man, that shit. Like, what if, like it's like I'm like kind of like with it, like also how I feel about ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. But I've had experience with ghosts or whatever the hell's the paranormal. But as far as like aliens, like I think, yeah, there is something out there
Yeah.
besides us. Like we've seen some weird shit. Especially with all that shit that happened in Area 51 and all that. Like, yeah, there's something there, dude. There's
Okay,
something there.
but do you think like the sheer like amount of activity that's happened, do you think like all of it's 100% like kind of true, or do you think it's just like maybe somebody saw something but they just chalked it up to aliens?
Uh, it could be that too, man. But you gotta understand too. There's a lot of people out there that like to just fucking troll, dude. They just like to troll, dude. Like especially remember like the famous Bigfoot picture. And
Yeah.
if you look at Bigfoot's wrist, he has a watch on or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of fucking trolls out there, man. So it's kind of hard to like, you would it would be like one of those things where you would have to experience it yourself to determine that. I can say that there is something out there because it's hard to kind of like argue like when you see a video, especially if it's like good quality video and you see there's shit in the sky, like it's kind of hard to say, hey, that's kind of fucking fake.
Yeah,
Unless the person who has the footage is a good, either photoshopping it or fucking CGIing it or whatever the fuck they do
yeah,
to make it look realistic. But there's a lot of stuff out there. It's kind of hard to dismiss it and be like, hey, you know what? That does look kind of fucking suspicious. But
yeah.
I would have to probably experience it myself.
Yeah, I think I'm on the fence about it. Like, we talked about ghosts last time, and I've seen some weird, creepy shit. So, like,
Yeah.
okay, I kind of do believe that ghosts exist. What they are specifically, I don't know. But with aliens, I'm really on the fence because I see, like, even throughout history, like even through the Bible, and even in like the Indian, what is it called? Oh, I can't remember what they're called now. But like even in their like Hindu Bible and all that stuff, it talks about space battles, and ancient Samaritan texts talk about space battles and people coming from the stars, and I think in like Native American culture they even talk about the same thing, like they travel to the stars and back, and it's part of their whole like creation story and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of I want to say a majority of it is BS, because they even have um what was this? They released something where it's like, oh, here are the categories that like alien abductees fit in, and like the categories are really weird. It's like they already know about alien abduction. They have some
Yeah.
kind of mental illness. They um, believe in other weird stuff, or like they're very easily swayed by opinions and stuff like that. So it's kind of like makes it kind of it it cuts the legs out from them. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, I was abducted by aliens." And it's like, "Oh really? Like, are you sure?" Like you kind of fit in these weird ass categories that seem like it's backwards. Like you're not being truthful about it, or it's not real. Like you just heard
Or you're
about it and
just
you just
or you're just on
repeated
a
it.
bad acid trip.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
Exactly.
they had to have. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, like I said, it falls into the how, you have to pretty much experience it yourself to determine if it's real or not. Like, it's one thing like somebody's telling you like, look, man, like I got pulled up in the sky and shit. Like, what was that name of the movie? Fire in the Sky? Is that
Yeah,
what it's
Fire in the
called?
Sky. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and everybody thought this motherfucker was on one, dude. Nobody fucking believed this guy
Yeah,
throughout the whole
and there was a
fucking
lot of
movie.
weird stuff about him too. Like, like he was
Yeah.
trying to get out of like some kind of business contract where he was losing tons of money, and then all of a sudden this happened, and nobody could really like explain it, and it just happened to be him and his like three best friends and stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I would say I'm on the fence about it, but let me tell you something though. I
Yeah.
have to be honest.
Hmm.
Aliens scare me way more than ghosts do. I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah, I really don't understand why, but just like the fear mechanism in my brain, it's just like I can watch a ghost movie and be like, okay, that was cool story, like if it's real, if it's not real, like, man, that's pretty cool. But when it comes to like alien movies, I
Yeah.
I get freaked out. Like the hairs stand up on my
Are you
neck. And
serious?
yeah, and it's funny because I remember the first time it ever really happened to me where I was like, holy crap, like I'm scared. And I watched the movie Signs, M. Night Shyamalan's Signs with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. You ever watch that?
Sounds familiar.
Where it's like the aliens are coming to Earth, and then it's like they don't like water, and then they're just like it's like a
Oh,
weird.
Signs with Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like the story is really weird, right? Like so the aliens don't like water, and then they came to the planet, but they don't have any weapons really, and they just have like their weird biological like
Mind
gas.
control shit, or yeah, the gas.
Yeah, and then
M
it's
Night
like
Shyamalan.
and it's like they want to like fist fight people for control of the earth, And then
Yeah,
it
what
was
the
just so
fuck,
so
man?
weird. And it's like, and in my head I was thinking, man, those people could have gotten like really fucked up if you just had a bunch of kids as super soakers. Like just kids run down the street hosing down aliens and shit. But that scene where they're talking about it on the news, and I think Joaquin Phoenix is watching the news, and it's like they're in Brazil, and there's a bunch of kids, like a birthday party, and a bunch of kids are staring out the window and they're screaming about something, and the guy like has the camera out and he's pointing at the door, and all of a sudden you see the alien like cross in front of the door, and
Yeah.
I fucking screamed. I don't know why.
What
Like
the
it
fuck?
was just a bunch of weird. It was just so weird. Like I just like flipped the fuck out because it was like, oh shit, like that was an alien. And then it was like then everybody in the everybody in the film reacted to it too. So like the guy that was like recording it freaked out. The kids all screamed, and then Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix like screamed, and I was
Oh,
still
at the kid's
screaming.
birthday party, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was just like,
In Mexico.
like I freaked out, and then afterwards, I was like, okay, like I paused the movie, I'm like, okay, do I keep watching this and stay freaked out, or do I like just go to bed and then watch it in the morning, like when I wake up? And then I was like, nah, I'll just finish watching it. And I finished watching the rest of the movie, and I wasn't okay. That was cool. Like I had my weird little freak out like session, and I guess that's where the movie wanted to take me. But the end was kind of weird and kind of a little buggy, but it made sense and it was cool and it was in like Shalalam, so it's like everything's got what a twist, like all these weird twist
Yeah.
endings and stuff. But then when I try to go to sleep that night, like you've heard of matrixing, right? Where like you start seeing things in like shadows, or like if you're looking at like a tiled wall or something, you start seeing shapes in the tile
Oh, like
wall.
faces and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I started seeing a fucking alien face in the closet, and I was like, "Oh God!" And I was panicking, like I was scared, and I was probably like, the movie just come out or something too, or it just come on DVD. So it was like 1998, 1999. I don't remember what, but I mean, I know I was still like in high school, and I was just like,
Fuck.
I was like panicking. I was like 16, 17 year old. I'm panicking, and I'm like, there's a fucking alien there. He's gonna fucking get me. I'm dead man. I don't know why I'm talking to myself. I'm a dead man. And
Yeah,
I
it's
got
my
up.
uncle Jesus.
Yeah, I got up and I closed the closet door. I was like, okay, there you go. The alien, stay in the closet. Like that's gonna protect me from crazy freaky monsters. Just close the closet door. And man, that was like weird, because I mean I've gone the ghost hunting stuff, and I've had like not necessarily freak out moments, but where the tension's really rising, but it's more
Yeah.
of like an excitement, like it's more like I screamed because I was so excited, like oh god, like did you hear that? Oh my
Like
god,
an adrenaline rush, right?
Right, yeah, and but it's a
Yeah.
different kind of like screaming. It's different. It's like a different level of anxiety. This was like a super like depressive anxiety. Like I was like fearful for my life. Like when you get into a car accident, you're like, oh, this is it, I'm dead. Like your whole body just like like squeezes down, and you try to your instincts kick in. You're just like, I'm just gonna squeeze down as to a tight little ball so I don't get hurt or don't get killed or whatever. And that was the experience I kind of had with that. And since then, even like when I watch alien movies, I'm like, I have to like get up and turn a couple lights on in the house, like I'm just like, oh shit, like this is. And then sometimes they're not even scary, but it's just like I get up, like I'll pause the movie, I'll get up and I'll just look into the dark, and I'm like, I better turn a light on because there's a fucking alien waiting for me around the
Fucking,
corner.
you're like so fucking opposite, dude. I get freaked out like not not as much, as I'm older now, but back then when I was young, when I fucking used to watch like shit that had to do with like spirits and demonic presence and all that, that used to fucking freak the shit out of me, dude. Especially when I used to get my when my whatchamacallit, sleep paralysis would kick in a lot more often.
Hmm.
Oh, dude, I used to think that there was a fucking spirit trying to fucking kill me, dude. Like that shit used to scare, like sleep paralysis. I fucking hate it with a passion, dude. Like that shit. I always thought I'll wake up like fuck, like I'll feel like I'm trying to push whatever's off of me, and
Yeah,
I'll be sitting there going, fuck, that's scary, dude. Something's trying to fucking kill me, man. I better start singing my fucking, my 12 Hail Marys and shit, you
yeah.
know. But
Jesus loves all the little children.
yeah, I started singing some fucking hymns and shit, but nah, man. I used to think that used to that scared me more than aliens. Because
Yeah.
because after I saw Mars Attacks, I couldn't take it serious. I was like, okay, if they can
Yeah.
die by this fucking song, then we're good.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is. It's just something like just something about aliens. Like
It's just
they just
just the
freak me
way
out.
the way he portrayed it in that movie and the way he fucking filmed it was creepy. Like, yeah, that did kind of fuck with me a little bit when I saw the alien run across the birthday party.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like it gave me like a little like like oh shit, that's kind of that kind of made me a little cringy, like oh fuck, I didn't like the way that looked. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, but it's weird that you're more scared of aliens than you are of fucking ghosts.
Maybe it's just because it's like a control situation. Like if there's a ghost, I can run away from a ghost, or I can engage them, or talk to them, or record them, or have evidence of them somehow, some way. But man, if an
Yeah,
alien came and just like took me and then came back and dropped me off in bed, and I just woke up like nothing happened, like how would I know? So I don't know. And then man, there was that one movie, The Fourth Kind, with Mila Jovovich. That movie scared the shit out of me. Even though
oh okay,
it
I've
was
never
weird.
seen it, but I heard it was
Yeah,
pretty good.
I don't know like how truthful the movie is, because supposedly it's supposed to be based on a true story, and they kind of jump back and forth between like supposed real like filmed
Footage,
evidence
yeah.
and the movie, and it was such a weird. And that movie, like I remember like trying to get a copy of it or something, and it was really difficult to get like a DVD or rent it. Like it was either like never available, or it was just always out. Like it was just like they
Hmm.
just didn't have it. And I thought that was kind of weird. And then after a while, like when the movie came out, it just kind of like disappeared like real quickly. Like I still remember watching it, and it scared the shit out of me. And
Fuck.
I was like, man, like what if that? Because the whole story is about people in this small town who just disappear. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. And it's like it's like in Anchorage, Alaska, or some town near Anchorage,
Yeah,
Alaska.
some little fucking small, you
Yeah,
know.
and it's like, oh, like half the people they get kidnapped come back and they have some kind of terrible like cancers that are like uncurable, and then it's like the other half they just never come back, and it's like, when I think one of the taglines was like when the FBI does investigating of missing persons, this small Alaskan town has more missing people than like 40 of the 50 states or something like that, like combined
Holy
together.
shit.
Like 2,000 people a year like disappear from this town. And then it's like, oh, this is all supposedly like real footage of all this stuff going on. And in that movie, they were visited by the Samaritan aliens, or not the Samaritan. Yeah, is it Samaritans? Sumerians,
Uh,
Sumerian aliens. Samaritans are good people. Sumerian aliens. So
yeah,
they're like the ancient aliens that visited us, back before time began and stuff like that. So it's I don't know, and it's really
they're the ones that
creepy
think
and
marijuana's bad for you.
yeah. But I mean, it was just I don't know. It was just that movie really freaked me out, and so did Signs, and like a lot of the like big budget, you know, it's happening in this small town kind of movies. Like really, always kind of freaked me out.
Fuck. You're just scared of the fact that they can just fuck us any moment.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think it's
Like
more
they
like a
have the
like a
capability of
control
just
thing.
fucking, yeah, they can just be like, all right, we're fucking done with these guys. Snap.
Yeah, like it's
They
like
fucking shrink the earth
in
into oblivion.
like in any other situation I can get out of it.
Yeah.
But if I'm being visited by aliens and they're taking me up with their spaceship every year, and I come back
Oh
down, and
fuck.
and there's things like in my body and all this stuff, like to this day when I go through like TSA checkpoints and stuff like that at the airport, I always
Yeah.
set them off. Like I've never not set them off. And I purposely like I'll wear like you know um basketball shorts and like just a t-shirt, and I'll walk through it, and then it scans, and I'm like, oh great, that's the alien implant that they put in the back of my skull going off, like
You fucking made yourself paranoid, dude.
hell yeah, dude. And this is me as like a kid. Like I'm setting off like these machines as a kid, and they're like, oh, do you have any change in your pockets? And I'm like, no, I don't have anything. And they're like, they wand me real quick, and they're like, okay, well, I don't know, it's not the wand's not picking it up, but the big ass machine always picks it up. And
What the
every
fuck?
time, every time I go through airport security, they're like, can you step over here for a second? Like you set off the machine. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't know, it scares the bejesus out of me. And I think
Damn, being
the
a
X Files, the X Files too, that didn't help
yeah, that
either.
fucking show.
And then talking about like Mulder and Scully, like Scully's like storyline, whatever. She keeps constantly being kidnapped by aliens and then doesn't realize it till like the last couple seasons, and then she has like a weird Mulder Scully baby that gets picked up by the aliens and shit, and you're like, what the fuck, like maybe I
Yeah,
do
dude.
have kids, but they're just not here. Maybe they're out there in outer space somewhere.
Fuck, man. Being abducted that many times, dude. You must have like the sorest fucking asshole. I swear, dude. You can just fucking jump head first into that shit, man.
I do poop really weird, so I don't know.
Damn. God,
Lot
you've
lot
been
of lot of
abducted, dude.
pooping complications back here. I don't know, man. I
you
mean, and I don't know. I think just yeah, just that idea that I am just completely not in control of what's going on in the situation. I
yeah.
think that is what scares the shit out of me mostly.
So you just want to be in control. You want to be able to have like, an option A and an option B, right? Pretty
Right.
much to a scenario where, like let's say
Exactly.
for ghosts, you just start praying or whatever the fuck and it stops them from fucking with you. It gives you enough time to get the hell out of Dodge. But aliens you can't really do that because
Yeah, they don't give
they
a
can
shit.
just they can just fucking, you know, they can just shoot a black hole at us. That's
Yeah.
it. We're fucked.
Yeah.
It's a one hitter quitter.
Yeah. So I
But
don't know. I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't
that's
know why, man. But what if like you're in a situation where you're in a house that's haunted, right? And it's by demonic spirits, and praying and fucking, shooting holy water out of a super soaker, or, waving the fucking cross, around doesn't even fucking help either. Like, what the fuck do you do then?
oh, I don't know. Then it's probably just aliens. So if none of that works, you're probably
It's
getting
aliens.
you're probably getting paranormal by aliens.
Fuck. It would be cool though if they were like in what was this scary movie? Was it the third one?
Yeah.
I remember fucking Charlie Sheen puts the knife under the door and they're fucking rubbing their nipples and shit.
Yeah.
But
Oh
no,
man.
they're not like that. And no, it's a trip, man. Aliens are, it's like I said, I would have to experience it. I would have to see it like firsthand, like something out of the ordinary in the sky for me to be like, okay, that's fucking aliens. But I do feel like there's something out there. There is shit going on.
Yeah.
Whether it's, top secret government shit or actual aliens. But there's something out there.
Ooh, that might be another topic because there's also the idea that aliens don't exist and all this technology is just something that we already have, but
We're not
it's
giving it
it's
out.
just yeah, it's just like a secret or something, and then it falls into the line of like time traveling and shit. But yeah, that's probably a different topic for a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Fuck.
mean,
Time traveling.
aliens, like I said, I don't, I mean, like you said too,
Yeah.
like you never experienced it. I've known people that have told me about it, and I do have a little bit of story time to tell about it. But me personally, I've never seen aliens. I've never had an alien experience. I've maybe have seen weird things flying around in the sky, but usually you can kind of like be like, okay, well that might be a satellite, or that might be
Yeah.
a star or something like an
Dude,
asteroid or
I
something.
fucking I fucking tripped out last year when Elon Musk shot that rocket up in the sky and it was all over the fucking news, right? But like I was at a baby shower, right? And I was like, all right, cool, we're going home. We're saying bye to everybody. And I look up to the fucking sky and I see this fucking blue trail with something in the middle of it. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck that is. I was just like, man, this is creepy, dude. And then my cousins calling me like, hey, dog, did you see this guy, dude? We're being attacked. I'm like, oh, don't fucking say that, dude. Don't start putting shit in my head. But then, when we got home, sure enough, it was fucking SpaceX just launched the rocket like up into orbit or something. They were testing it out. So I didn't know that, usually, they'll be like on Facebook, be like, oh yeah, hey, Elon Musk is shooting a rocket today, but I didn't get any of that. So I was just kind of freaking out, like, okay, we're being fucked.
And then we realized the whole time we were the aliens.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boing. But yeah, I got a little
Mm,
bit of story time though. Let's start some story
yeah.
time.
Oh my God.
I think I'm
Please
gonna
do.
tell. Well, I mean, they're quick. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
I had a buddy who I really trust, and he's in the military and stuff like that. And he was out with I'm pretty sure he was out with like his military buddies, and they were driving around town trying to find a place to eat, trying to find a bar or whatever. And I can't remember. He told me specifically what the car was that they're driving. Like it was like an old car, like maybe like a Buick or something. But it was
Yeah.
like one of those old cars where if you're in the back seat and you lean back far enough, you can see like out the back window.
Yeah.
So he's doing that, right? So he's leaning back, he's looking out the back window, and he swears at first he thought it was a helicopter. Like it wasn't really chasing them. It was just kind of flying like back and forth, but it kept the same distance, but it never like came closer or more farther away. Like it was kind of like tracking them, sort of. So at first he thought,
Yeah.
oh man, like that must be from the base. Like they're probably just fucking around, like chasing us or whatever. But then he started noticing like the lights on the helicopter weren't right. Like
Hmm.
like all commercial jets, all helicopters, they have to have certain lights certain places so that people can identify them in the
Yeah, you
sky
can
and stuff like
tell
that.
which one's a plane or a helicopter. Usually, a helicopter's light is like right. I think it's like right underneath the propellers where the engine is.
Right.
Yeah, so usually there's either one or two lights on each side of it, and then there's another light on the tail, so you get like the little triangle
Yeah.
type lighting effect to it.
Right.
And
So
so there should be
so
either two or three lights on a helicopter. Airplanes usually have, you know, like two on the wing and then two on the tail or some shit like that, or one on the
yes.
tail.
Yeah, and it's
So
so
you can
you can
tell, you can
identify
pretty
them.
much
Yeah.
tell.
But he
Yeah,
was kind of looking at it, and he saw lights, but he was like, the lights don't like match up. Like it was really weird. Like the lights looked
kind
strange.
of off.
Like they were strobing, but they were strobing in like a weird kind of way. Like they weren't blinking like they should be. Like it was almost like they were kind of like turning off and on, but like in almost like in a pattern though. So like it would
Yeah,
be like blink, 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 blink. Like almost. I don't want to say Morse code, but I mean they don't teach Morse code anymore, so he wouldn't have known if it was or wasn't.
yeah,
But he just kind of noticed like yeah, the that helicopter looks really weird. Like it doesn't and he's worked around helicopters being in the military and everything, and he's seen them come and go day and night, and he was just like, man, that's really like that's really freaky, and then he when he kind of like got up to turn around to kind of like look out the back of the window a little better,
yeah.
he said it just like, I think he was coming from the beach or something, and he said that as soon as he turned around and looked at it, it like just boom, just like took off like towards the ocean, and then like
Huh.
he just didn't see it anymore. Like it just blinked out, and he was like, okay, that was kind of weird. And then he just asked kind of some of his buddies like, hey, you ever seen a helicopter? And I don't remember how he described it because it's been so long since he told me the story, but it was like like it looked like like the lights were in like a triangle, and it had strobes instead of blinkers and all the stuff. And people are like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like that wasn't a helicopter. And he's like, okay, well, what is it then?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. He's like, okay, well, did I see a UFO? Did I see an unidentified flying object? And they're like, well, I wouldn't tell anybody that's what you saw, but maybe that's what you saw.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that was kind of trippy. And this guy, he's was my good friend for a long time, so it's like I kind of I'm not gonna like say that he's bullshitting me or anything. So I mean, he saw something freaky. Um,
God damn.
the other story I have is a story from my dad, and I cannot, on the life of me, verify any of this stuff because my dad was just big fish kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I don't see why he would tell me that story out of the blue just to, either mess with my head or whatever, because he told us the story when he was like when I was a kid. I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and he's telling the story. In fact, a lot of these weird, like the next ghost story I'm going to tell, literally evolves around the same place that this alien story took place. So it's in Oklahoma, and they're on this like abandoned ranch, and it's
Yeah.
called, I think it's called the Labadie's Ranch. And the Labadies, it's a family that own the ranch for however many years, and they all died kind of tragically in this house. And that house turned kind of like into like a party house, like people go up there and just set up camp and party
Yeah.
all night for like the whole weekend. And my dad would tell me him and his buddies would go up there with and go hunting. And so they would just go up and they'd stay at the house, drink beer, party, whatever. And the next day they'd go, quail hunting or whatever it was they were doing. And
Mhm.
he was saying one night they went up there and one of his friends was like just tripping out, like did not want to go. Like he was like in the back seat. He's like, "Nah, man, I'm not feeling it. We got to turn around." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Like we're like almost there. Like we're literally like 2 minutes away." He goes, "I don't know, man. Like I've heard a lot about the Labadese place, and I've heard a lot about all these weird stories you guys have told me." And he's like, "I just don't want to be there." He's like, "Look, don't worry, it's fine. Like everything's fine. Nothing weird has ever like really happened." So I'm assuming
Yeah.
when this story took place, it happened before the crazy ghost story took place, because it was
Hmm.
like at this time it was known as the party place. Everyone just went up there and partied. There was no big weird issue. And
Yeah.
so I think it was two groups and they were like in two trucks, and or one was a Jeep, one was a truck, or one was a Cherokee and one was a truck or something like that. And so they go up to the Labadee place, and it's not maintained or anything, so they have to drive through like this high grass road and everything. And
Yeah.
so one of the vehicles parked really close to the house because they had all the supplies that they were gonna unload, and the other one just kind of pulled up next to it, and um, my dad's friend just freaked the fuck out, like just like, you need to take me home right now. I can't be here another second. And he's like, "What is wrong with you? Like what the
Yeah.
hell is wrong with you?" And I can't remember. I think there was like a real bright flash of light. And at first, my dad thought somebody shot one of the shotguns, like because they were unloading stuff into the house. So he thought maybe one of them accidentally like dropped it and it went off or whatever. But he didn't hear a bang. He just saw like the big like bright flash of light, and he was like, "Whoa, what the hell was that?" And sure as shit, his buddy's like reaching over from the back seat into the front seat, trying to grab the wheel, trying to kick the driver out, trying to take his spot. And they grab him, they throw him back into the seat. And when they throw him back in the seat, the whole like Jeep rocks, and they're like, "What the hell was that?" And then it's like dead silence, like nothing for like a minute, and then bam, something like just slams into the car, right? And the whole car just rocks, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" Like, and so they all have guns, so they're like, "What the fuck are we scared of?" So they all jump out, and they start pointing their guns at everything, trying to figure out what's going on, what's attacking them. And then they start like heading up to the other guys who are closer to the house, and the other guys are like, "What the hell's going on? Did you guys?" They thought they shot their shotguns already. Like they heard the bang
Uh,
and they saw the flash of light through the house, and so like they're like, "No, man, like there's something's out there."
and we're back from intermission. Okay, so for you guys at home listening to this, it's gonna sound weird that a certain part it's gonna sound like the audio's been cut up and re-edit. But what just happened is we're talking about, or my buddy here, James, was talking about how his dad, encountered something crazy going on at that party house. And right when he was explaining all, the crazy shit that was going on, Discord cuts him off and boots him off.
Yeah, I mean
So,
this whole night, it's like every time you're talking about aliens, you've been sounding like a robot, but then we like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I have 3 bars, you have 3 bars, or whatever. Everything's green." So I don't know why we're getting all these weird like internet kind of interruptions, man. It's like maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about aliens. Who knows?
you know what I think?
We're too close to the truth.
Mark Hamill's fucking with us.
the the
So,
Legend of
the
Skywalker.
Legend of Skywalker. Oh man. So, where do we leave off at? So, where the
So
fuck were
okay,
we?
so yeah, so at this point, they've already jumped out of the other vehicle. That vehicle is being like constantly being hit by something. Bam, 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 and they're like, "Man, we got guns. Let's just get this thing." So they run up to their buddies in the other vehicle where all the guns were, and their buddies are like, "Oh man, like what the hell is going on? What's wrong with the vehicle?" Like, "Oh, we don't know. It's like we're being attacked." Like
Yeah.
grab the guns. And as soon as they start pulling guns out, I think my dad said there was like another big burst of light, and this time they were like blinded, and they were hearing like a really weird sound, like almost like one of those weird like deep earth sounds, like the wom 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 wom
Oh
kind of
yeah, kind of
sounds.
like yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know my dad to really watch alien films and stuff like that. So for him
yeah,
to kind of tell, like that's like the classic alien sound. You know what I mean? So, like they're on the plane, they're all in the spaceship, or they're being,
like
you know,
something hovering, pretty
right, like they're
much.
like they're being dragged up to the spaceship and it's making that sound. And
Yeah,
so he's like, there's this sound going off, and then I guess at one point someone just screams like fire, and so there's you got 5 or 6 guys pointing guns in different directions, and they're just like blah 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 blah.
what the
And
fuck?
I think 2 of them hit the other truck, and then
Oh god.
they just like now they're not blinded anymore, and they're kind of getting their whereabouts, like what the hell happened, what the hell happened, what the hell was that, like it was
Yeah,
they thought like maybe a helicopter had like maybe flown overhead or something at this point, like oh maybe someone just saw us out here and they just came out to scare us or something, like fly a helicopter over the top or something, who knows,
yeah,
something weird, right? Like it just didn't add up. It's like, all right, you know what, fuck it, let's get all this stuff back into the house, and let's just like someone stay up and keep watch, so they like someone stayed up and they kept watch and everything. The next morning, when they go out to start going hunting, they they're like, oh man, like damn. So they're looking at the other guy's vehicle and like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I think I was the one that shot your truck. And he's like, man, he's like, it's all right. Like whatever. It was just a weird night. And it's got like some buckshot on there, but it's the truck's fine,
yeah,
right? So they're looking at one side of the truck. When the driver of the truck goes to the driver's side, he just like freaks out. And then when he freaks out, the guy that was originally freaking out runs over to see, and they said that like on the side of this truck there was like claw marks going from like one end to the other end, and just like constantly, like because they kept they were in the truck and they kept feeling like it was getting slammed, and when they jumped out of the
yeah,
truck was still getting slammed, and they're like, man, well, I don't know what the hell this was, and they look at this, they look at the truck, and it's like, man, this thing has like claw marks, like it got attacked by like a bear or something like that, like, but the
yeah,
claw marks are like deep into the metal of the vehicle, and it goes all the way from the rear of the vehicle to the front of the vehicle, and then like from the top down on the engine, and they couldn't get the truck out of there, like the truck had been like destroyed.
yeah. And I don't think bear claws can dig in through metal like that. I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
don't.
sharp as hell, but it's not sharp. I don't think it's sharp enough to cut through steel or anything.
Yeah, so obviously they're like tripping out, something did attack them last night, and then they're trying
Yeah,
to piece together like the light and then the sounds, and no one ever really said oh this was might have been aliens. But what's weird is I think it took place around the same time that the Fire in the Sky movie was supposedly taking place, like in the 1974 75, I think.
yeah.
So it's kind of trippy that it's kind of it's
And
around
it
that
happened the
same.
same era. Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm not sure if the legend of it started before my dad went up there, or if the legend started after my dad went up there. Because then my dad kept telling me that someone was telling him that like, oh, it was the Labadee cat or something like that. They called it the
uh,
or something weird like that. It's like the Labadee cat. The cat attacked us. And people have supposedly have seen this thing, and it looks like a what you would figure maybe like a lion or something would look like, but it can
yeah.
walk on its hind legs, and
That's creepy.
yeah, and it's super fast and all this other stuff. And then my dad kind of like got more stories from more people that like they saw the Labadee cat, or they were attacked by the Labadee cat too, and for some reason it always just like kind of like attacked their cars.
Yeah,
So maybe it saw the cars as like a weapon, or maybe it saw the cars as a threat and didn't see the people as a threat. But but bright flashes of light were always
yeah,
kind of part of it too. So it's like, man, so like maybe these aliens were just like dropping down some kind of like experimental weapon, teleporting it to the ground.
oh shit. And then
Yeah,
taking it back up when they're done.
yeah, and then just like attacking
Awful.
whatever, and then taking it back up when they're done. So that was just something that was just one of the other trippy stories my dad told me about, and it all these weird shit always happened at this one place that they would like go visit all the time. And like I said, next time I got like a really cool ghost story. In fact, I'm gonna ask my sister because her and my dad did a lot of research on this,
Yeah,
and like they debunked a lot of weird stuff about it too. But I mean, it's still the stories still coincide with all of it. So I'm actually gonna ask my sister if she can like email me, or if she even wants to like get in on this, like call me and I'll put it, put the phone up to the mic or whatever, so she can
yeah.
tell us about it. But I
Or she
think
can
she,
join us on. She can join us on Discord, huh?
yeah, I'll see if she wants to do something like that. But
Yeah.
um, more than likely, she'll probably. I'll ask her to like text me or email me
Yeah, the
like her
story.
the story. Yeah, because they actually went to the library and looked all this stuff up and actually
God
like
damn.
found out like what really happened, and then all this other like I don't know. It's really trippy. And then there's like other stories that kind of coincide with what happened to my dad while he was up there. But yeah, man, it was some freaky stuff, and especially when you hear it from your dad. And I think that kind of started me on all this like crazy ghost stories and alien stuff and everything. Because this stuff happened to my dad, and for whatever reason, as a child, he told me about him.
God damn. Fucking trippy, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fucking just the whole that whole cat on hind legs. That's what would you even consider that? It's not, it's not alien, it's not, the paranormal. Like what the fuck would that be
I mean,
categorized?
you could I guess have like your monster category, like just some kind of like
Mm.
creepy mutant monster or something out there in the middle of nowhere. But I
Kind of
mean, the
like the
way
whole
they
Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, it could fall into that category. But I mean, from the way
Uh,
my dad described it, until, maybe I didn't understand it until I got a little bit older and started watching more of those movies where like the alien abductions and things like that. And then, like I said, like the sound, like my dad made that sound like whoop 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 whoop, like something
yeah.
was making that sound, and then you hear it in these like alien abduction stories and stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like the same sound that he was making. And it's like, how would my dad even like? Why would my dad even care to use that sound unless it was
Yeah.
something he really heard? So,
Whoa.
so yeah, so those are my two weird alien stories, and I think they're the only ones I have. Other than that, I mean, I don't think I know anybody else who's ever had like a freaky alien encounter.
Nah, neither do I. I seen just that one buddy of mine, but I don't even talk to that guy anymore. And he only saw something in the sky and then it just took off. But it's just the way it took off on him. It just went like it wasn't, you can tell when something's hovering or when something's just still. Like he said, this thing wasn't even moving. It was just and when it did move, it would just go side to side.
Hmm.
It wasn't going up or down. It was just going side to side, and then it would stop. And it was like a dead stop. Like when you see the drones kind of like stop in midair and hovering, they kind of move around a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of do like a little skid sort of in the air.
Yeah, kind of like it just kind of like like a fucking snake's head did. It just kind of moves kind of weird. You can tell when it's forcing itself to like reposition and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
But he said that this thing was just dead still in the air. Like it wasn't hovering, it wasn't moving, it wasn't doing anything. It just stood there. And when it took off, it just went boom. See ya.
yeah. See, all that stuff's super creepy.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah.
fear.
Well, too bad I don't have any alien stories. The only alien stories I have is the
No,
adventures
don't
I
say
take
it.
at home. Oh, come on.
Oh, I thought you could say
Don't.
the stories of my illegal aliens.
Well, yeah, Home Depot. Duh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna lie, man. There's this one guy that I used to work with. Um, he used to help out with my dad's company where he has his own little like dump truck. He picks up scrap metals for us and everything. And after he's done with that, he just goes straight to Home Depot. Like, all right, well, it's 5 o'clock. I can probably get another couple of jobs in. Fuck it. It's great, straight there, man. One of the hardest working dudes I've ever met.
Hmm.
Nothing to do with aliens, but he was an illegal alien. So that's the only story I have. He was a cool guy, though. I liked him.
Cool.
So, yeah, and I guess that will conclude
Well, I thought,
our
did
podcast.
you want to still tell your ghost story?
You know what? I'll save it. I'll save it
Save
for
it.
when you do your ghost story. Yeah, Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
tie it in like that, man, because we've covered a lot,
Yeah. I mean, we're
a
sitting
lot of
on.
random alien shit.
Yeah.
But
Um.
man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy hearing that. That I don't know. Now I'm getting the chills thinking about that fucking. It's not even a chimera. It's just a fucking cat walking on its hind legs, just fucking shut up.
But like big. It's like a 6 foot cat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
like a tiger,
fucking
a lion, or something crazy.
like that. What's that one video game? The old classic game, Rampage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? A lizard, a wolf, and a monkey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no cats in it, but fuck, imagine just a cat. Like, where's my catnip, bitch? But it's fucking punching the shit out of walls. Like, yo,
Huh.
man, just fucking, we'll go buy you some. Give it to me now, motherfucker. A random ass cat just going around just punching old ladies.
Well, like your cat Bob. Remember your cat Bob? You like
Oh,
sprinkle it on
fucking
him, and he
R.I.P.
just twist out in ecstasy, like yeah.
Dude, yeah, that cat used to
Oh.
fucking flip on catnip, man. He used to flip the fuck out, man. Rest in peace, Bob Seger, man.
Yeah.
One of the
Badass
most
cat.
awesome cats. Yeah, one of the most awesome cats I've ever had. And then we have fucking Chewy over here. Fucking Chewy, dog. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that dog. He's something. I
All right.
think I think the elevator doesn't leave the fucking parking lot with him either.
Well, like I
But
said,
yeah,
I guess.
that
Yeah.
was a good little storytelling there. But yeah, man, I'll match my ghost stories with you
All right. Sounds
for
good.
next week's podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once again, this podcast is brought to you by Costco. If it wasn't for their free
Jesus.
samples, I'll be a malnourished fuck. So thank you,
Oh
Costco,
God.
for providing endless samples to this poor
Yes,
little bitch over here.
I will buy this. Where would I
Yeah.
locate this? Oh, down the aisle? Sure. And then you just
I,
book it.
yeah, I don't know why the fuck I used to get so nervous when I get free samples. Like, oh really? $14 for 2 packs of chicken sausage? Oh yeah, I'll take a look. Like, what? Just grab the shit and go, man. You're not obligated to buy their products if you get a free sample, even
Yeah.
though a lot of those samples, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna go buy these fucking meatballs, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, like today I bought these flatbreads that they always sell, and they have like Parmesan cheese and jalapeno spinach and all that shit. It's pretty good, man.
Hmm.
They're like these little flatbreads. I don't know what they're fucking froscata. I don't know what they're called. They're pretty damn good though. But yeah, shout outs to Costco and their cheap ass foods,
And for Scada.
and for Shkata and
That's a
for
company. They make pizzas and I think they also make bread.
so that's probably what it is, man. I don't feel like going to the fridge to look. That'd be just a big ass mission in itself. But
Man, can we be sued for giving them free publicity? I don't know what territory we're going into at this point.
no, I mean, if
Because
anything, we're bringing.
I got to make a disclaimer. We're not supported in any way, shape, or form by Costco. I like your hot dogs, but I mean, not getting any of that Costco money. Just FYI.
Give me money.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we did free advertising for you. Give me some money.
Yeah, because you want to advertise us, you gotta pay, bitch. Like, yeah, but we're giving you free advertisement. Doesn't matter. Pay me.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe they're fucking aliens.
hey, that's episode 2. This is the
Yeah,
longest running podcast we've ever done.
cool, man.
And the
Eh,
longest
eh,
running because we're like both over like 130 minutes on both of them, but that's fine. That's
nice.
fine.
That's good. That's good, man. We're doing good, bro.
Yeah. So we still gotta do the Facebook at some point. Still gotta set up
Yeah,
the Facebook page.
we'll have all of our social media, pretty well maintained by, I want to say, by the end of this month. No, by the end of next month, maybe, or before, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it takes.
whenever we're not too lazy to actually do
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
and then
But
I have some projects on the side here that for the near future, maybe streaming on
yeah,
Twitch.
You keep
So
saying
stuff
that,
like that.
but who
Yeah, yeah, I
knows?
got to look into it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a little,
Because now
idea or
you're
an
gonna have to
adventure.
set up your computer to do the sound and recording and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like remember Carlos, he records, but then like there's nobody else talking except for him.
What?
You never seen his he does like the little Facebook live things every once in a while, and it's like he's the only one talking, and no one else is talking, and it just seems like he's playing by himself the whole time.
Probably is, man. He's
No,
kind of a
he's
loser.
playing with
Yes.
us, and then I told him like, dude, Carlos, like you can't hear any of our voices, but you keep responding to us, and you keep cussing at us in your
Yeah,
videos.
that's no, no, no. The way I have it set up is different. I'll show you. It's the NVIDIA software, but yeah, it is something to what we're gonna throw out there in the near future as we
Yeah,
expand our network here.
yeah, why not?
So, all right. So I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah,
Once
bunk buddy
again, thanks to the
theories. I don't even think
Bunk
we even
Buddy.
announced who the hell we were when we first started, did we?
I don't even think we have to. That's how good we are.
Yes, so I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Well, especially
everyone
to our
else, and
to our two listeners,
yeah, yeah, everyone else in
fucking
podcast world though, they do that. They like, welcome
yeah,
to blah blah blah.
yeah. But we're real motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's true, it's true.
We have like this, hey, YouTubers, or how like they always that whole generic like, what's up, everybody? This is Paul here. Like, I don't do that shit.
It's like, what's up,
I come in,
YouTubers? Hit that like button, subscribe, ding that bell.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I come in dick swing and I'm like, yo, man, I got this fucking bump on my dick. I don't know what the fuck it is. You want to see it, Jimmy? Like, I just come in balls blazing, dude. I don't give a
ugh.
fuck. But whatever. But thanks for listening. We'll be shooting out every week.
I don't
As
know, dude. I want to do more than every week. If we can get that arranged, that'd be cool.
the fucking animals that live in my house.
I understand. The
Yeah.
zoo, your fucking
My
zoo.
zoo, what
Yeah.
everyone calls it, my two kids, my turtles, my two dogs, my two cats. Jesus Christ. But so once again, thanks for listening, guys, and subscribe. We're on what platforms are we on now? We're on Apple,
Yeah.
Google Plus. You said
Google Play, Apple
uh,
iPod. We're on. You can reach
SoundCloud.
us on Twitter, SoundCloud. On Twitter, we're at bunk_buddies, or you can just look up Bunk Buddy Theories. And like I said, we got the 2 followers. We're very proud of them. They're awesome
Yeah,
people.
very proud.
I enjoy them. I enjoy their messages. And but yeah, hopefully maybe we won't just be talking to ourselves in the future, and we'll actually get some responses. And let me
Maybe we'll
ask you
get some
this:
guests on. Maybe.
bonus time. Have you
What?
talked to anybody about listening to our podcast? Like friends
You
and
know?
family?
Okay, so I have tried, and you know how our friends are.
Right.
Not, not, not the most supportive friends.
Right, but I mean, at least if they listen to it, I think it'd be just cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just I
yeah.
could see like,
I
oh, hey,
think,
like somebody listened to it. Like
I think we're gonna have to pay them for that.
Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
I've talked to like my friends and family, and like, hey, like you want to listen to my podcast, and they have just like shot me down. Like even my own wife is just like, "Oh yeah, you guys doing the podcast? Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll listen to it later. I don't know." I'm like, "Really, babe?"
Same thing.
Like,
Same thing on my end. It's the same thing over here. But
yeah,
we'll get there.
thanks.
We're gonna get big, man. We just gotta keep on getting
Just
on.
keep grinding away.
Keep grinding away at everyone's ears. But like I said, we're gonna end the show here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support. Those two supports that we got on Twitter. We're going places, guys.
Yep.
And I think that's it, man. We're out.
We're gonna Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Peace. 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 Peace.